December.
Even in December. Folks,
Yep.
welcome
Independence in December rules.
to another episode of Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I'm Nate Scrometer Balding.
I'm Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand bone springs. Put a spring in your step. Replace your bones with bone springs for terrifying leaping abilities you won't be able to stop. Are they made of bones? You betcha. Bone springs from Monstroco. What the fuck?
They seem like something I would need to become Spring-Heeled Jack.
Sure.
Which may or may not be a dream of mine, you know, terrorize the London people of the 1800s.
Sure. I understand that. You would have to get back to the 1800s, which presumably with enough jumping abilities, you could do that. You could.
If you jump fast enough and far enough,
right.
You jump through time.
Jump through time. That was proven in Einstein's peyote papers.
Yeah. The Einstein-Rosenberg spring.
Mm-hmm. Bone springs from Monstroco. Replace your bones. Send us your used bones in a self-addressed stamped envelope.
We could use them to power the radar.
We could use them to power the radar. We are, in fact, talking about haunted houses. It's a haunted house especial. I went a little off the rails, and I'd like to go first if I can, if nobody minds.
By all means.
Not at all. I have first-hand accounts I would like to end with. I think they're good and spicy.
Great. Love a first-hand account. I went with a haunted home away from home, the bar. You know, a lot of people go to their local bar to just to remind themselves that someone knows their name. They get breakfast there, they live there, they die there, they haunt there. I have found a list of the 10 most haunted bars in the world. That's right, it's time for Jordan Reads You a Listicle. This actually started as I was looking up. There's one in Kentucky called Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Bobby Mackey's Pit of Hell.
Yeah, Bobby Mackey's is supposedly
that one is super haunted.
Yeah, it's very haunted, and it is on this list. But I started reading the others, and I was like, you know, let's cram it. Let's jam a bunch of these haunted bars into the blunderbuss. Sorry, the blunderbuss. And fire it in their faces. So we're going to start out.
Fill it up with 5 spirit fingers worth of bar of contents.
Exactly. So we're going to start out with Bobby Mackey's nightclub. This is in Kentucky, in the United States. This is apparently written. This is from thespiritsbusiness.com. This is a bar blog that is clearly written in a different country because they list the location as Kentucky, USA. Okay. You know, the town of Kentucky. Bobby Mackey's nightclub has experienced a host of sinister events in its 150-year history. You can't get a place that old without getting some ghosts, you know? They'll just get into the pipes.
That's fair. That is correct. That is proper paranormal preparedness. Prepare for that. On
the site where have your bar sprayed for ghosts once every 50 years or so. Mm-hmm. Once every Finsky.
Don't do it so much. Like, let some death build up, let some spirits build up, and then do it. You don't want to do it like every year. Mm-hmm. That's a waste of money.
No, but like every other unexplained fire, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you want to be a little bit more sustainable with it, kind of give back, collect the ghosts in a jar and give them to Scares for Tots.
Yeah.
They'll
bring
have those
victims in. Let them stay.
Yeah, Dexter this shit. Make sure they're bad guys so that the ghost will stick.
Or at least entertaining people.
On the site where the bar is built in 1850, it is thought the satanic practices were routine. It should also be noted that this will be delivered in mostly broken English. With animals and even human beings slaughter on a routine basis. This, I did a little reading. This is most likely just propaganda kind of made up by Bobby Mackey. But there is a weird spot in the basement. The basement is probably the only remaining part of the original building, and it's fucking terrifying down there. It is like It's all rubble and broken. There's a stairway to nowhere. There's another stairway that leads down to a well that has been filled with rocks and dirt, supposedly because one of the previous owners was trying to seal a doorway to hell that was in that well. So he was like, too many demons coming out. Start shoveling.
I like the idea that business was doing so whichever way. I can't even imagine that you got to make up all this to help it or hurt the business.
Well, I think people, generally speaking, when they have kind of an active, potentially malevolent haunting, they go because this is a Judeo-Christian society that we're living in. They go, that devil. It's that stupid devil in it. They was here. They was doing their devil dances down in the basement, and maybe they were. Who knows? I wasn't there. I swear.
I like to think also that every bar is built on a site of some sort of satanic event. Like, well, what are we going to do here now that we've cursed the land? I know.
We got real drunk here last night. There's just something about this area. Also, the ghost of a local girl, Pearl Bryant. I think it's Bryant, but they said Pearl Bryan, the lead singer of Pearl Jam. Sorry.
Nice.
In 1896, was beheaded by her boyfriend and his roommate in a nearby field after an abortion attempt went horribly wrong. Fuck.
Yeah, because instead of killing the baby, they killed the girl.
Yeah, this is both. Why access to safe abortion is so important. Okay, in 1950s, a dance hall girl named Joanna, who worked at the venue, was made pregnant by a young singer. When she made her intentions known to marry the boy, her mobster father had him killed. They hung him in the dressing room. And Joanna poisoned her father before taking her own life. Some patrons have claimed to see visions of all three. Boy, that's fucked up, huh?
That's Shakespearean.
That is Shakespearean. Also, could you imagine after the whole event takes place, they're all three ghosts just sitting at the bar like,
boy, they have to hang out.
Here we are.
Could we have done this differently? Maybe, but we're here now.
Do you have something you'd like to say to my boyfriend, Dad? Okay, the other ones. This is in Bolton, UK. Ye Old Man and the Scythe is the name of this pub. Bolton's Ye Old Man and Scythe, one of the oldest pubs.
Leave your soul.
One of the oldest pubs in the UK, dating back to 1251. 1251. That's older than Columbus.
I mean, what was it in 1250? I imagine it was just stocks. It was a stockyard where you would throw old produce at people who had wronged the king.
And a place to drink while you did it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's where you picnic. It's the stockyard.
That place is 4 times older than America.
Truly. People have been getting shit-faced here since then. This place grabbed headlines on Valentine's Day of the year when this was written, this is from 2014. This was the place that the ghostly specter was apparently captured on CCTV. I think it's the one that runs out of the double doors.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? I tried to follow the link, but that corner of the internet is abandoned and terrifying.
I can find that and post it on the listen along.
Yeah, see if you can find the Ye Old Man and Scythe ghost.
Yeah, check behind the cobwebs.
Landlord Tony Dooley discovered smashed glass on the floor when he came down on Friday morning, and when he viewed the camera, he found it had stopped recording shortly after 6:18 a.m. He then saw what he believed to be the ghost of a man executed during the English Civil War in the 17th century. The soldier, thought to be Royalist James Stanley, 7th Earl of Derby of hat fame, supposedly spent the final year of his life staying at the pub before his gruesome execution. Where is he? I've checked everywhere. Could he be at the pub? No, that's stupid. No. He was beheaded in the square immediately in front of the pub, and the chair he sat in while awaiting his fate is still inside.
And still warm. That's the weird part.
Yikes. Hundreds more soldiers and civilians were also killed outside the pub during the Bolton Massacre, 1644. So this was like, this place and the surrounding area was the site of lots of bloodshed. Blood ran red The streets of Bolton ran red with the blood of potential drinkers. And I imagine a dour old glass wipe sat in the window going, "Oh, terrible day for it, innit?" Next up, Jamaica Inn, Cornwall, UK. Jamaica Inn, based in the UK's idyllic Cornwall, featured on popular TV program with an E.
That's how they spell
Haunted.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdos.
Most haunted?
Most Haunted in 2010, with the producers claiming it was, quote, one of the spookiest episodes they'd ever created. Owners of the inn purported to have heard ghostly whispers in different languages and the clatter of horses' hooves on the cobble path outside, only to find none horses. They'd be like, hey, there's a horse coming. And
let's go check it out.
Oh, I love horses, dude.
Wait a second. There's none horses here.
There's none horses. I mean, you ask me, a horse would be a bigger problem than a ghost horse.
Yeah.
Whose horse is this? Get a diaper on that thing.
Ghost horses go running through old West hotels all the time, and people just hear it. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's a nice story to tell at the end of the day. A real horse running through your bar.
It's problematic to say the least.
Get him out of there. One ghost story in particular has become synonymous with the pub. Legend has it that many years ago, a patron left his half-finished tankard on the bar and wandered into the night, never to be seen again. His body mysteriously discovered on a bleak moor nearby. Past landlords have said the man's ghost frequently wanders into the bar to finish his drink.
That sounds like a guy. It sounds to me like a guy who made a real specific life decision.
Yeah.
Halfway through his drunk.
Yeah.
The Lion's Lair's got a story like that where the ghost comes out of the restroom, disappears around where used to be the pinball machine.
Yeah. He flushes the toilet and then disappears. He's dressed like a zoot suit guy.
Yeah, he's like a zoot suit daddy, right?
He was a zoot suit riot until he was stabbed in the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where he died. Well, or that's where he peed, flushed the toilet, and then went around the corner.
Dying in the restroom of the Lion's Lair. Sound like somebody's been eating at Bourbon Chicken. Am I right, Denver? Shit your pants. Though the Jamaica Inn is a real-life pub situated in the Cornish Bodden Moor area, it is also the namesake pub featured in Daphne du Maurier's eerie and suspenseful novel, Jamaica Inn. Jamaican me freaked out. That's what I was going to say to that. Nice. I'm an uncle. Next up. The Banshee Labyrinth. Well, I mean, if you call your bar.
Now, what are two frightening things? Can we put that together and make a bar?
Said to be Edinburgh's, this is in Edinburgh, Scotland, by the way, which is already pretty scary. Said to be Edinburgh's most haunted pub, the Banshee Labyrinth, formerly the Nicole Edwards Pub. I think we need a more frightening name for what's been going on here lately. Nicole Edwards doesn't really give it that, that feel.
It's friendly.
No one knows that Nicole Edwards is the haunted, the headless horse person that comes in here every night.
The nightclub and bar is situated above the city's infamous underground vaults, frequented by the city's criminal underbelly and unsavory characters, where many I like that they add and unsavory characters, like the criminal underbelly has some right upstanding blokes.
They do. There's tons of snitches in the criminal community. Doing
those
their
guys
work
who
for
get
the
stitches. Where many people reportedly met a violent and grisly end. One spirit of the staff that the staff fear is that of the Banshee, a female spirit in Irish mythology, which is an omen of death. When refurbishing the pub a few years ago, a group of workmen believed they all heard a terrifying scream. Little shade thrown in that sentence, huh? They all believed they heard it. They all heard it. Or maybe they were just trying to skive off for a bacon butty. Who knows? A few hours later, one of the workers received a phone call informing him you guessed it, a family member had passed away.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's the death? And then you slap me in the face with it.
Slapped you with that death.
I mean, it's interesting that they're more scared of the banshee than they are of all the people coming up from the vaults.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think there'd be a guy named, like, Flashy Dan the Dagger Jack or some shit.
Listen,
It's
when you're
way more frightening. He's got a body count of 17 children.
Yeah, every so often he comes in through the wrong door. Oh, sorry, I thought this was... never mind. Back to the caverns.
When you're an adult construction crew, all named O'Brien, you're gonna fear the banshee versus the man killing children, okay? One's coming for you, the other's just killing children.
Can't work today. Got banshees. Fuck off till next Tuesday, will ya? All right, we're going back to the United States. The Landmark Tavern, New York. Opened in 1968, the Landmark Tavern is an Irish waterfront saloon based next to the Hudson River and is considered one of the oldest continually operating in bars in New York. I mean, not 1251 old. Not like fucking, not Shakespeare drank here old.
Now, how old is this bar? You say it's old.
Yeah.
Oh,
1868.
Well,
The 60s. Different 60s. Different hippies, really.
Yeah, well, being on the Hudson, they mostly cater to fishmen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The scary part.
What do fishmen drink?
I mean, in all the video games of Cthulhian horror, The Sinking City, whiskey, like the rest of the downtrodden.
Really?
Yeah, they love it.
I was going to say Anchor Steam.
Severely watered down.
Yeah, watery whiskey. The establishment was transformed into an illicit speakeasy during Prohibition with Hell's Kitchen gangster George Raft as one of its most loyal patrons. So loyal, in fact, that his ghost is believed to frequent the establishment to this day. The bar is also rumored to be haunted by the ghostly apparition of a Confederate soldier who was shot in a bar brawl and died in an upstairs bathtub. Okay, was he shot in the bathtub, or was he like, you damn Yankee, you shot me if I wasn't late for my bath?
He was shot downstairs and thought he could wash the bullet out.
God.
Which was medical practice at the time.
The ghost of an Irish
This is how they got it out at Andersonville. We can do it here.
The ghost of an Irish immigrant girl who died in her bed has also been spotted wandering the third floor. So that's nice. She's getting up and about. She's shaking it off. Okay, we're going back to London, back to the UK. The Grenadier, London. One of London's most feared drinking dens. The Grenadier is...
Close it down if people are afraid of it.
You want to go out for a pint? Oh, not there.
They have a special drink. It's some version of the cement mixer, but they just call it the hand grenade.
That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. Get over there.
I was a bartender for a long time.
All right. A terrible one. Making horrible porridge.
Yes.
Named after explosive devices. Grenadier is said to be haunted by the ghost of a soldier who was beaten to death and thrown down a stairwell after he was found to be cheating at a game of cards. Guys, relax. See, they think that fucking video game trolling is a new thing. They think that, like, swatting people is a new thing. People were getting so pissed about cards that they would beat you to death, and then after you were dead, say, "It down the stairs with you."
Well, what if he was playing against the Grim Reaper?
Okay. It doesn't say anything of that here.
All right.
That's always a possibility. Just know, Pingos, that no matter what, you might be playing a weird game against the Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm. There's ways you can tell. Bones for feet. It was originally built in 1720, bit late, isn't it? As the officers' mess for the Senior Infantry Regiment of the British Army and the 1st Regiment of Foot Guards, and so was located in a courtyard of their barracks. Interesting. Current owners claim the paranormal activity in the pub increases in September, the month in which the young soldier was murdered.
I could see that.
Month before October, no less. Look, do you think you could wait a month? We're trying to do, we've got a big Halloween do. No, oh, all right, never mind. Keep on moving glasses, as it were. Next, we're going to Berkshire in the UK, the Ostrich Inn. A lot of these are in the UK. I think maybe because they're so old and so violent.
I think that
Yeah,
all
I
the
just feel
people
like that's
from
where a lot
York-
of pub crimes occur.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the people from York are correct that England is the most haunted square foot per capita.
Interesting, sure.
That's true.
Ostrich Inn, Berkshire, UK. The Ostrich Inn, based in Berkshire, has witnessed a host of grisly ostrich ghosts. I'm kidding.
No.
A host of grisly murders over the years, and with a reported 60 murders committed in the establishment. Put up a sign or
That's
something.
too many. Yeah.
Yeah, you need a warning at that point.
No murders, please.
Or a warning, you may be murdered, enter at your own risk.
Caution,
Right.
murder.
Everyone's got to sign an agreement, a waiver as they go in.
Good Lord. Most famous were those committed in the 17th century by the landlord at the time, Mr. Jarman. Okay, well,
I guess so. That's a different deal.
look, I run well, not exactly an upstanding tavern. I run a down-sitting tavern, and murder is legal.
He's constantly coming to claim his pound of flesh.
Seriously, who, with his wife, made a profitable sideline by murdering wealthy guests after they had retired for the night. Interesting.
Nice.
Well, how is that making them money? Like just from stealing from them?
Yeah, you
'cause
Or
you
is there
have to
something
carry-
bitter?
You
I
have
mean-
to carry your purse with you. So, like, there's all the gold you brought with you. It's mine now.
You could kind of, maybe you could sell their skeletons. Maybe you could do kind of, who were those two guys?
Leopold and Lope.
I don't know.
I'm
There
trying to
were
think
a
of
lot of
A
them.
pair of murderers.
Yeah, I want to say Wade and Boggs. That's it. Wade and
Yeah,
Boggs.
that's definitely it.
Yeah, you could sell their skeleton, be like, this is a skeleton of a rich man, so it's going to be double for the diamonds and the bone springs.
They gotta check the bones for jewelry
Yeah.
And springs.
hidden in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With its foundations first laid in 1106.
Jesus Christ.
1106. That's the Dark Ages, right?
That's part
yeah.
of them.
The ass end. The Ostrich Inn claims to be the fourth oldest pub in the UK. Okay, how old is the oldest pub?
We're looking at
Yeah,
it.
I
Keep
mean,
going.
because
Good Lord.
what's the Battle of Hastings is 1066,
Dang.
and that's like before England is a thing.
Dude, veterans of the Battle of Hastings were drinking at this
All right.
place.
Who's been there?
From NPR, Ye
Uh-huh.
Old Fighting Cocks in St. Albans, England, claims to be the oldest pub in Britain.
When?
Well, we're looking
Does
into it.
Come on, NPR. Put it in the
8th
headline.
century, according
Damn.
to
Okay,
according
well,
to
yeah.
the pub's website.
You want to
I
go
think
down
that-
to the pub? Do you mean that pile of rocks where we
Yeah,
drink
right.
blood spiked with alcohol? I do. Claiming to be the fourth oldest pub in the UK, it was frequented by highwaymen such as the infamous Dick Turpin, who is thought to have shot the pub's housekeeper in the face before escaping out of a window. Fuck.
Well, I mean, that's fine. The landlord would later murder upwards of tens of people
Yeah, maybe
and
this is
just
what
get away with it forever.
maybe
this is my
what
land. I kill what I want.
set the precedent. Yeah,
Maybe.
wow. Crazy.
You think like the keystone is the skull of a peasant that was just like shoved into the ground?
Probably. Fuck.
They didn't
This
have
makes me
concrete
wanna-
yet.
I'm like 5 years sober. This makes me want to go get drunk at the Ostrich Inn in Berkshire. I honestly, it doesn't seem like the type of place where you could hang out for long without drinking. Like, I need a
No,
drink.
I think there's exactly one thing you can do there,
Yeah.
aside from murder.
Next up, New Orleans, U.S. Arnaud's. This is at Arnaud's in New Orleans. I'm sure it's Arnaud's, but Arnauds. Sorry, I was just struck by a powerful craving for a ham sandwich. That was very weird.
Blame the ghost.
Look, you think New Orleans, you automatically think ham sandwich.
Guess so.
A classic Cajun cuisine.
Damn, I have been to New Orleans though, and they do that muffaletta sandwich at Central Market.
It's great.
It's crazy. So if you get a full size, it's a whole loaf of bread that they cut in half and make like an Italian sandwich with fucking tapenade all over it. Get a half sandwich. Trust me, it's all you need. Okay, New Orleans-based bar and restaurant Arnaud's has been known to house a ghost or two in its time. Waiters have been startled by a gentleman dressed in a turn-of-the-century tuxedo standing in the corner of the main dining room, jerking off. Just kidding. Smiling with a proprietary air. That's weird.
The thing is, that would startle me whether it was a ghost or not.
Yeah, what's that guy doing?
The tuxedo smiler in the corner.
Yeah.
There's nothing okay happening there.
Yeah, he's smiling proprietarily. Is that a proprietary grin, sir? Yes, I invented it myself.
We're at 35.
Oh, might be. The establishment, therefore, claims they believe this apparition is that of its original owner, Count Arnaud, a French wine salesman who bought the space in 1918. Another waiter claimed to see a woman wearing a hat.
Ooh, the hatted woman.
Also startling.
Leave the ladies' room and stroll across the corridor, disappearing through a wall. I've got two more left. I'm going to blast through.
Do it.
Eastern Station Hotel, Ballarat, Australia. Said to be Australia's most haunted hotel and bar, the Eastern Station Hotel is thought to have 7 specters which regularly spook workers and Tony Shalhoub in a prequel to 13 Ghosts. Just kidding. 7 specters would be a good one, though. The bar said the ghosts include a 2-year-old boy who drowned in a gold rush mining puddle. Oh, it's sad. And original owner Thomas Redshaw Hunt, whose presence can be felt due to a mysteriously strong smell of tobacco. Other ghosts include those of an English mother and her 12-year-old daughter who died after arriving at Ballarat of yellow fever, as well as that of an Irishman who was stabbed in the back by a love rival. I can love better than you can. Stab. The Ancient Ram Inn in Gloucestershire, UK, is our final most haunted pub in the world. The 12th century Ancient Ram Inn in the village of Watton-under-Edge, Gloucestershire, is believed to be plagued by up to 20 specters who relentlessly torment punters and staff.
Seems like a terrible place to hang out.
Truly. Built in 1145 on pagan burial grounds, the inn is believed to be the scene of child sacrifice and, you guessed it, devil worship. Excuse me, that's that imaginary.
Just like the Georgia Guidestones we'll talk about on Friday.
Mm-hmm. The establishment is rumored to be haunted by a male sex demon known as an incubus and a murdered young girl called Rosie.
Okay, I take back what I said. This sounds like a great place to hang out.
Those brave enough to spend the night at the inn have reported hearing the screams of a child, felt the cold touch of an invisible force, and witnessed furniture forcefully flying across the room.
Dude, that's
scary.
And if we get enough patrons, maybe we can go to these places and get scared in person.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There you go.
I would very happily go on some sort of cross-country tour of the most haunted bars.
Fuck yeah. That does it for this installment of Jordan Reads a Listicle that I am calling They Sit at My Bar and Put Dead in My Jar.
Bravo. Bravo.
Thank you. I was working on that since about the third one.
It came together.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
The length of your segment was just to nail that. You're like, oh, yeah. I can't finish it yet. I got this joke I'm working on.
I had to get it out there.
It's beautiful.
All right, I passed the speaking skull.
Nate?
Sure. Yeah, I'll try and run through these fairly fast. So people for quite some time, for a specific period actually of our history, mostly in the mid to late 1800s, they were building these octagonal houses. It's a big thing. It's a architectural phenomenon that sort of started with this guy Orson Squire Fowler. That's right.
Okay.
He was a phrenologist,
Sick name.
a
Bad
vegetarian, and possibly even maybe a vegan. He was this kind of like early self-help type guy. In fact, he was a publisher as well, who basically self-published a bunch of self-help books, one of which started this whole the popularity of these octagonal houses.
Okay.
There's a whole
the grave of the first vegan.
Yeah, pretty much. Also a teetotaler. So he was of sound mind when he made all these decisions that led to a lot of haunted locations.
Wow.
It turns out the octagonal house, even though it's also it's a cool design, and it has ultimately a lot more floor space than your standard square housing, ends up being haunted. A lot of them are haunted.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, the town of Fowler, Colorado, also named after this guy for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the most famous one probably being the Octagon House in Washington, D.C.
Sure.
This predates Fowler by quite a bit. It's one of the, I believe it was built by Jefferson, but it was the temporary home of James Madison and his wife Dolly after Washington got burned down by Canadians in 1812.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
We burned down their capital.
Hey, look, as long as we're just trading capitals, war is great. So the home went through a bunch of different people. I believe the Talos, John Talo III and the third. I just read 3 eyes is 3. Great. Sure. I'm doing well.
You're doing great.
And his wife, Anne Ogle, bought the house and lived there for quite some time, and they are said to maybe still be there. There are some reports of the paranormal activity at the Octagon House from dcghosts.com.
Nice.
The Octagon House has a rich history and has seen several deaths within the walls. Aside from the Talo family residing in the home, many important residents have come and gone through the years. It was a place where both John and Ann Talo breathed their last breath. Their spirits may roam around long after death, ringing bells to summon servants who no longer attend their desires. Many visitors recall feeling cold spots and strange feelings as they ascended or descended the stairwell. The second floor and third floor landings have also been places where the specters and paranormal activities may have been reported according to residents and even museum staff. This thing is now, having been Madison's summer place away from the fires, is now also a museum.
Okay.
One of their daughters apparently died in a freak accident falling down all of the 3-story staircase.
Oh, good Lord. You would have to make so many turns.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about most of them have a spiral in the middle of the Octagon homes. Ooh. But you still hit a landing, and you'd have to continue for a little ways before hitting.
And as I just said, all things are possible through ghosts.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
My one Lord and Savior.
A ghost on every landing. Shove. Shove.
Some have heard deathly screams at night, yet they were the only ones in the house at the time.
Yikes.
The earliest report of this ghastly occurrence dates back to 1908. Another famous presence is said to be overstaying her welcome in the home is Dolly Madison herself.
Whoa.
Even though she did not die there, she went back to the house because she liked the Octagon so much.
See, that's the thing, is it sounds like I would love to live in an Octagon house, or would I?
They're all super cool, and they're all super old. Not as old as the pubs,
sure,
obviously. The first initial reports of hauntings of the Octagon House they date back as early as 1888. At the time, the house was mostly being rented out to various tenants. One night, nearly a dozen men were said to have spent the night with the intent to scare off any of the spirits that may have occupied the house.
Nice.
This is an earlier Zach Baggins, I guess. Detailed accounts of spirits in the house were later published in a local newspaper, which, kind of kicked off the whole occult history of the house. There's a whole bunch of other weird things. like tons of the tenants have died there, and some people see them on occasion.
Sure.
Then there's another Octagon house.
The power of the octagon compels them.
I felt this when I was looking for a place, and I was all like, you know what? I think all these buildings with weird geometries let some stuff in.
Well, that's a thing too. Is this the 8-walled system does have like it's very close to being like an occult image just on its own, seen from above. Like you could totally blueprint this thing to look like some sort of weird sigil,
right?
And I kind of think that because there's not a ton of these houses out there, even though because it was only a big fad for like 30, 40 years really. And even then that people weren't building a ton of new housing. But all of them seem to have ghosts.
Every
there's a place
golden house.
Same reason they stopped using asbestos. I mean, asbestos.
Yeah, exactly. There's a place called the Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky, which has actually appeared on a bunch of like A&E and Travel Channel shows.
Sure.
Nice.
Various most haunted
done
things.
The ghost hunting circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one dates back at least to probably to the Revolutionary War. There's accounts of different soldiers being seen. Definitely, there's a bunch of Confederate soldier stuff in there. There was a guy by the name of Jerome Clark. His ghost shows up apparently during the Civil War. He was a Confederate spy who had dressed as a woman named Sue Mundy.
Okay.
All right.
And his gun is kept there in a case. There's a whole Confederate, hey, these were used to kill various people.
What was his gun dressed like?
His gun is dressed as a rabbit dressed as a woman.
Classy.
I'm Sue Mundy, and this is my lady rabbit.
And when you go to kiss the barrel, he pulls the trigger.
Yeah, makes sense.
took down many a Union soldier.
Ma'am, could I have a smooch of your lady rabbit?
So he is spotted often, and his presence has been felt. There's a guy that they just call Eddie. And apparently you can hear him moving along. He drags one leg, so you hear like a step, drag, drag.
Eddie. Eddie
Usually,
Deadleg.
Yeah, Eddie Deadleg. He's usually in the attic. Apparently, he was also a Confederate soldier. He died there after being injured, and he was hiding for several days from the Union Army when they took over Franklin. There was a 12-year-old girl named Mary Elizabeth Caldwell whose dress caught fire in the kitchen.
Oh,
she burned to death.
Oh my God, you're in the kitchen. There's got to be water in there.
You'd be surprised. Back then, there wasn't as much water in the kitchen.
I guess
There
it was probably just,
wasn't running water.
boiling on the stove.
She probably tried to use it. It probably hurt her more putting it out.
Just put her more on fire.
Yeah. Anyway, her ghost has been seen, heard, and felt by various people. I watched a video of a psychic that went there with a ghost box. And according to the ghost box, the spirit of Mary Elizabeth Caldwell spoke through it, saying that it took her 7 days to die.
Oh,
yikes! Good Lord.
Yeah. So poor girl.
Yeah, they have cameras up everywhere for like you go there now just for ghost hunting. That's like how they make their money. So they have cameras everywhere. They have seen when no one's there, they see doors closing. There's a video you can watch. It's the night before Halloween. There's a video of a light shining super brightly. It appears right on top of a candelabra, and it's bright. It doesn't look like it's some weird thing happening in camera. It's very weird. There was asking questions of a different ghost box at one point, a very audible yes, as they ask if the ghosts are being well cared for.
Spooky.
Ghosts have to be cared for is something I don't enjoy.
Another famous Octagon house, the Armour Steiner house. This is another one that you can tour. It sounds really cool. It's in not like upstate. It's just north of Manhattan in
mid-state.
It's north of But it seems like it's probably a train ride away, so you can go there. But they also have a feel and smell ghost that brings a floral scent of lilacs with her. Apparently, she's quite mischievous. There's a firsthand account of the guy that manages the place, his father trying to open a window that turns out was painted shut. You know, he can't get the thing budged, so he goes to grab some device, a screwdriver, whatever, to try and open the window. When he returns, the window has been thrown wide open. There's another story where the guys were having he was giving a tour and he was talking about having a ghost, and somebody started to smell lilac, and then another person was like, another guy was like, hey, I smell lilac too. It's just like all the party started to like sniff at the air, and the entire tour was like, oh yeah, the ghost is here, and they just went all quiet and they didn't finish the tour. Everybody just left.
Yikes.
Silently.
I don't know what I feel about that.
I feel like I would double down on the tour.
I would double down on it as well, but I also would be like, did one of your buddies in the attic spray lilac down upon me?
That was my first thought. Was this would be pretty easy to fake.
It would.
But I mean, I would definitely double down and be like, all right, show me more ghost. I'm in.
Yeah, I would like another tour, please.
But I feel like if it was a thing that they did with any regularity, it would be more famous than just one guy saying, this one time this happened.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Although maybe they just felt like, oh, well, we wanted to tell them about the architecture more. They left. The podcast I was listening to, by the way, thanks to Tobias Livingston for sending some of this information our way.
Yeah.
Had an interview with a couple of guys, Bob and Larry, whose octagonal house is not a museum, but it's one of the few that has not been refurbished almost at all. It's almost completely original. Yeah, back to whenever it was built, the mid 1800s. And they also say that they have a ghost.
Interesting.
They believe it's a member of the Smith family who either built or owned the house at as far back as they can tell. The Smith family was the close to original owners, if not the original owners. They believe the fourth child, who is an Aunt Rachel, who still inhabits the home and shows up every once in a while. They were here's a couple of accounts. They were at a cocktail party, or one account really. They were having a cocktail party, so there were 6 witnesses to this thing. And one of their friends asks them, he says, Larry, have you heard from your ghost lately? And everybody to a one heard the sound of stomping across the ceiling, one side to the left, the other.
Yikes.
And they just sat there in silence like, well, I guess
we have. Yeah. Wow, crazy.
They've also had like a martini glass explode, a couple other little things.
Whoa, that's not cool.
Glass just explodes sometimes.
Glass
is crazy.
Stuff. Well, I mean, I think this was just a glass that had been sitting on a shelf for months and months. You know, there was no reason for it to burst. But yeah, that's step into the octagon, I guess we'll call that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to take...
Spirit of fist fighting.
I'm going to take the speaking skull, and I'm going to end this episode with some firsthand paranormal encounters with ghost from the Crescent Hotel and Spa. Okay. I'm doing Haunted Resort.
Nice.
Is this the Crescent Hotel that we reported on once, where the guy had all the body jars?
Huh.
Let's type that in.
Is it the Crescent Hotel in Eureka?
Crescent Hotel.
I think it was like Eureka, Missouri or some shit. It was the other Eureka, not the one we know from California.
This is the Crescent Hotel in Eureka. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this thing's insanely haunted.
Yeah, so I don't think you can find that episode anymore. We have to do a rehash because we only store if you access the Libsyn link, which is a secret, only Patreon
you're gonna have to be a 31337 Haxor.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, it's lost in there, in the dark ages, if you will. So we should do a rehash on this on the
I mean, I think
Crescent
that's what we're
Hotel
doing
proper.
now.
Let's do it right now.
No, we're just doing some ghost sightings on the Crescent Hotel. We're not talking about it. The Crescent Hotel is known to have ghostly guests. This is from America's Most Haunted Hotel.com.
Okay.
As Southern Living magazine recently boasted, the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa is known to have ghostly guests. But many of these ghostly guests have become well known thanks to nearly 20 national and international syndicated paranormal television programs that have produced and broadcast episodes on America's Most Haunted Hotel.
Ghost Renaissance, baby.
Here are a few new tales as told to the hotel's ghost tour guides.
Hell yeah.
Stories that even the paranormal savvy might not know, but
Ooh.
will enjoy.
Yeah. You're getting the scoop, Pingos.
Getting that new shit. That new.
So even if we did, you didn't hear these ghost stories. Paranormal report number 1. Last week I met a couple that was staying here at the Crescent Hotel on the first floor near the governor's suite. They said the first night of their multi-night stay, nothing happened, explaining that they heard that you need to be in the hotel for at least a couple nights before anything strange happens. That seems like it's a booking trick to get you to work more nights.
It's got to build up. It's like vitamins.
Fair enough.
Well,
That's how
they also have a
vitamins work.
spa. You're not gonna take advantage. The spa takes a whole day unto itself.
Take a relaxing
you should
3-day holiday in our spooky spa.
They said on their second night, when they were going to bed, they folded the blanket and comforter back onto the foot of the bed and just slept with only the sheet covering them. The husband awoke in the middle of the night sweating, turned on the bedside lamp, and woke his wife in dismay. The blanket and comforter were not only pulled up over them, but someone or something had tightly tucked them in.
Oh, yikes.
Oh no, they got that ghostly maid service.
Truly, the turn down.
He said that happened 3 times that night.
Yowza.
Whoever
Right,
or
that's-
whatever was
that goes
in the
from
room.
scary to annoying really fast.
He said whatever was in the room wanted them tucked in tightly.
Yikes.
After that, during the rest of their stay, they would discover upon awakening or returning to their room that things had been moved around from where they were going to sleep and departing from the room.
Wow.
So that was written weirdly, but overall, I meant to say that every time they left and entered the room again, stuff was moved around, and when they went to bed and woke up, things were moved around. They said that items moved. They said that items moved were just small, insignificant things, but enough to let them know that someone or something was or had been there.
Mm-hmm.
They concluded that they really enjoyed their stay and that they would indeed be returning to the Crescent once again. That is propaganda. Paranormal report number 2. Room 419 is the room said to be inhabited by the spirit of Theodora, a prim and proper woman. She is said to have been a live-in member of Norman Baker's cancer-curable hospital staff during the late 1930s, and room 419 was her room. Records show that 419 is the Crescent Hotel's second most requested room because of Theodore's rumored housekeeping service. She tidies up after guests who stay in the room, but only if she enjoys their company.
Oh. What if she doesn't?
Treat your ghosts well.
I have been
This is
told
what we've learned from that Octagon house.
I have been told by guests staying in room 419 that they conduct experiments in that room, purposely leaving messes in hopes that Theodora will make her presence known by folding their clothes, organizing their closet, and or attractively arranging personal items that have been scattered around the room.
She doesn't even get a day off after
Yeah,
death.
come on. This is asinine behavior. You're mistreating this laborer.
All told the guide, evidently, Theodore must not have given them the ghostly nod of approval. Then, just recently, a couple told me that they had purposely scattered their loose change around the room on tabletops, nightstand, etc., shortly before leaving for dinner downstairs in the crystal dining room. Upon their return after dinner, they were overjoyed to find their coins neatly reorganized in stacks of quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies, and all placed on top of their dresser. This ghost loves love. They're only doing it for the couples. Theodora just likes to see happy couples, I think.
Wow. And if she doesn't like you, she'll take a dump in your suitcase.
Number 3, and the final recent ghost sighting or experience from the Crescent Hotel and Spa. Guest who... I can't speak anymore. I need some water, but it's long gone. I would have to go back to Richard's barn and collect his rainwater. Guest who revisited our hotel recently and retook the ghost tour took delight in recounting a story that had happened to them at the Crescent some 10 years earlier. They said that they had arrived around 2 o'clock one spring afternoon for an early check-in. They got their one key to room 221 and proceeded to take the elevator to the second floor. When the elevator door opened, standing there, seemingly waiting for them, was a man in all-black Victorian-style outfit. The man asked if he could show the couple to their room. They thought he was a hotel employee. They told the man where they were, room 221, and handed him their key. Upon arriving in 221, the helpful man unlocked the door and pushed it open. The man remained just outside the door, smiling and tilting his head side to side repeatedly. The guest... Good, I'm glad you guys are getting goosebumps like I was. The guest quietly turned to her husband and suggested that perhaps the man wanted a tip.
No, I think he thinks we're swingers, honey.
In the nanosecond that it took the husband to turn to hand the man a tip, the man had disappeared, nowhere to be seen, down the long hallway.
Yikes.
Puzzled but not concerned, the couple relaxed in their room until they left for their scheduled evening ghost tour. Following the tour, they returned to their room only to discover that their key would not unlock the door.
Whoa, that's weird.
They then went to the front desk where the clerk apologized that by mistake he had given them the room to 321. The couple explained that the key worked for the employee who let them into their room, describing the helpful man and his attire. The front desk clerk informed them that they had no employee who fit this description and no employees who wore that kind of attire. The couple never saw the helpful man again.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, because they didn't tip him. He's obviously not going to give him second service.
That's spooky. They accidentally gave him the haunted key.
Yep.
Well, and so their stuff was all in there? So they got in.
Yeah.
The door was open. The ghost pushed the door open.
Crazy.
He held the key. They gave him a key.
Wow.
And that is the Crescent Hotel and Spa of Eureka. And we'll go into the body jar thing in a recent episode or next episode or something in a future episode, because that is a crazy tale we need to rehash.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
But that is 3 recent ghost sightings or reports from the Crescent Hotel and Spa. Now, do you want a recent review?
Hell yeah.
Yes, very much
The
so.
Crescent Hotel and Ghost Tour. Here's a 5-star review.
Nice.
Spirits are there. Our guide, and this is from 2022, the 2 that I'm going to read you. Our guide gave us an awesome experience. She told great historical stories, which made for a very enjoyable tour. She encouraged individual ghost hunting within reason, and she was very attentive to who was in her group. 5 circles. This is from TripAdvisor.com. They don't do the star thing. They're
5 circles, huh?
Yeah, circles.
That person traveled as a couple as well. This next person traveled as a couple. Terrible. Don't support these people. One
Whoa.
circle. Do not do. You're probably thinking this will be spooky, themed, quiet, moody. It's not. The presentation is flaming, disrespectful of the deceased, racist, and look at me, I'm fabulous.
What?
At one point, the guide was talking about an Irish child laborer who died during construction. They said, probably did an Irish jig before falling to his death.
Oh, wow.
I can actually tell you that is commonly accepted to be the story of the eyewitness.
This person sounds like the worst type of person.
I bet that what they're saying is accurate, and that is annoying to have that thrown in there just for like a fun flavor. But but the person writing this also seems like they are not the most fun. Like, sure, that guy did wrong there, but
yeah, but also I'm Irish.
Circle.
Who gives a fuck?
The stories are so embellished. This is a real point. The stories are so embellished that I couldn't believe a word of anything. No time frame of recent sightings. Just awful, flamboyant, generalized expose.
This person seems like they're offended by even mentioning anything Irish, yet also homophobic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they mean by flamboyant.
And I read that all like they typed it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Crescent Hotel and Spa, 3 circles. We're going to average out the rating there.
Okay. It was fine.
But truly, those ghost stories creep me the fuck out. When Nate said that he was doing a ghost or a haunted house thing, I was all like, yes, let's do some ghost stories. I found them.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed them.
Love a good first-hand account. And honestly, this turned out to be more of a kind of ghost structures, not so much haunted houses.
Structure?
Yeah. We went a little deeper, which I appreciate. And I hope you appreciated it too, dear listener. Thank you for your continued support of what we do here. If you like what we do here, you can find us other places like Twitter, like Instagram. Mm-hmm. You could even, if you wanted to, you could even go to freaking patreon.com/werewolf radar, and you could sign up for our Patreon support package, which gets you additional content every week, as well as merch here and there with art and grave nuggets galore.
For the price of a fancy cup of coffee a month.
Mm-hmm.
You can get art from Jordan. You can get fiction from me. You can get grave nuggets that go deep from Nate.
Deep.
They're extra. We know you enjoy them.
And we're not subject to inflation like people on the mortal plane.
Yeah.
You pay the same amount, you get the same amount of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Patreon sent an email. They're all like, you should raise for inflation. And we sent that email back with feces on it.
Yeah, we crapped in the email and sent it back to them. Right in there.
Anyway, we have a lawsuit coming because of that. And if you're a lawyer listening, please hit us up.
But more importantly,
somebody touched food after they touched the mail, and we might have given somebody some diseases.
Yeah, we did figure out how to send shit through the internet, though, so that's important as well.
Via Twitter.
Yeah. Also, we're on Twitch every Monday, 4 p.m. Well, most Mondays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We play some D&D over on twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. And if we're not playing D&D, Roger might be there playing some
game.
What are you playing, Raj?
Right now, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Nice.
The ending of the Square Enix Tomb Raider trilogy.
Boy, I've been playing Control
Control's fire.
Control rules.
At the behest of Troy Walker and a number of other people who've been telling me to play it for fucking ever. It's so good. It's basically SCP Foundation, the game.
I got bored with it, but only after spending uncountable hours. It was one of those games where like, well, now I just don't know where to go and I'm overwhelmed kind of. It's a brilliant game.
It's really good. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. And also shout out to you, the listener. Tell your friends, give us 5 stars. And until next time, as always, our not so secret sign off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the skies, Spaceman Joe.
Sound design by Blue Blanket Sound. Contact them at hello@blueblanketsound.com or www.blueblanketsound.com.